Why I don't use crypto?
And I'm going to show you exactly how I would take a $100 account and grow it into a $10,000 account.
That does not exist. There is no certain way to turn $100 into $10,000. YouTube should ban all these scammers who feed the minds of young kids with false dreams.
Okay, so what I want to do is draw a Fibonacci off of this overall trend up to my high here. And you can see here's where my 61.8 is, and see how this is matching up perfectly with the 261.8 projection off of our AB. That's going to give us our projection for C for a profit target.
The question that must be spinning inside your head right now is, why don't I get a bloody word of what this guy is saying? And the answer is, if you understood what he says, you wouldn't buy his online course.
And that's going to make it so that when this price trades back down to this level or wherever my profit target is, I'm going to make money on the position going down.
What he's trying to do here is to convince you that there is a way to predict that this price is going down.
Overnight, we get a massive dump off in price. Low is broken. See where this bottom forms right here, and then we get our exact profit target hit.
The program costs $1,000.
I'm going to be giving to 2 people full access to our entire suite of training, which is valued at right around $1,000.
If you really think that you can draw some lines and predict the future price of Bitcoin, I am more certain that those lines are for idiots than that the sun will rise tomorrow morning.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God!
And because there is absolutely no rational way to predict a stock or a coin, he deploys a bunch of bullshit that was not meant to be comprehended, but only to confuse you to the point that you will feel that you need a further explanation and thus buy his course. And that is exactly what everyone who talks about cryptocurrency does. Their number one goal is to have you join their crypto world. Because the bigger the crypto world gets, the more money floats to the higher decks. Sounds familiar? A classic pyramid scheme, adorned with ornaments and some fancy talk.
As you are undoubtedly gathering, the anomaly is systemic, creating fluctuations in even the most simplistic equations.
And tell me, Mr. Jordan Peterson, how one could love human beings when they think they can predict the future with magical lines, astrology, and witchcraft. There is absolutely no way to predict the future.
We have a bearish divergence here at the top of the bull market that made Bitcoin go down. Right now, we have a bullish divergence showing us that Bitcoin is about to go up. No one can ever steal your Bitcoin from your hands. It's literally in the blockchain. It's the most secure form of a store of wealth and money in the world. I will stand by that. I will live by that, and I will keep saying that till the day I die.
Till the crash. So let us call that phenomenically grounded belief into question. Is there a way to predict the future? Of course there is. If I drop the ball here, I know that my other hand will catch that ball. I knew that before it happened. I predicted the future, didn't I? I certainly did. So why can't you predict the future of a stock or of a crypto coin in the same way? Let's imagine that we have 3 groups. Group A likes blue, and that is 50% of the total population. Group B prefers green, and that accounts for 30% of the total population, while Group C prefers red and accounts for the remaining 20%. My favorite color might be red. How will I be able to predict what most people like when red is my color of choice? Let's say that you are about to release an album of 10 songs, and you particularly like track number 3. That doesn't guarantee that track number 3 will be the most popular song of your album once it's released. The only thing you can do to find out which track will be the most popular is to set up a mini Gallup. If you go around asking people what is your best song out of these 10 and you force them somehow to listen to your whole album, you will get your answer. The larger the scale at which you conduct your experiment, the more accurate the results will be. Now, think of a preference that hardly ever changes, like your favorite football team or even your religion. Those preferences are non-volatile, so the survey you conduct doesn't have to be that big because there is no chance that the people will change their minds. But when you do the same experiment with music, results are volatile because more often than not, people get bored of the same song and change their minds. Here comes the interesting part. People change their minds about crypto every day. One day you believe Bitcoin is rising, and the next day you read an article that makes you nervous and think, oh, Bitcoin will definitely fall now. And that makes predicting the future of coins impossible, even when conducting gallops. Let's have a look at why people believe that Bitcoin has dropped from $60,000 to $15,000. Let's ask Google. The latest and biggest casualty is cryptocurrency exchange FTX, which has filed for bankruptcy. Russia-Ukraine war, the inflation consequences, China's embargo on crypto, the Terra Luna crash, and of course, the collapse of FTX. I will give you the real reason that Bitcoin fell from 60,000 to 15. Awareness. The reason the meta stock is falling is because the investors are concluding that the metaverse has no future, at least in the near future. The same applies for Bitcoin. People have gradually come to understand how Bitcoin works and have thus bet against it.
Bitcoin and ICOs, I agree completely. It's one of the crazier speculative things where it's not as an asset class, you're not producing anything, and so you shouldn't expect it to go up. It's kind of a pure greater fool theory type investment.
The reason Bitcoin is falling isn't because of the FTX or the Luna Terra crash, but because people realized they didn't like it. Let me give you an example.
Crypto is the only available payment option. After I sent the money to them through Coinbase, I immediately got a call from the support team saying that my wallet is now locked for the next 2 months because the wallet I just sent money to is a blacklisted wallet on the blockchain. So now the majority of my crypto is frozen and I got to figure out another way to get them the money.
When was the last time your bank account or your credit card froze? It happened to me, someone might say. Yes, but there was someone on the phone that helped you unlock your account and get access to it. With Bitcoin, there is no one around to help you. You can't even prove that the money is yours. Bitcoin is an asset that you possess anonymously. That means that whoever has your password owns the asset. You forgot your password. No one can help you get your money back because the money are not conjuncted to your name or to your email like PayPal, but to a string of numbers and characters. As we stepped in 2023, you might have noticed that customer support is one of the biggest necessities of a successful company. We used to create our own playlists in Winamp. Nowadays, we don't bother doing that. Instead, we follow ready-made playlists on Spotify. We used to drive to the VHS store and pick out movies. We don't do that anymore because picking out is energy consuming.
5 sets of exactly the same clothes?
Learned it from Einstein. This way I don't have to expend any thought on what I'm going to wear. I just grab the next set on the rack.
People don't want to struggle with options. We want everything on the table. Crypto is not something someone can help you with if things get messy. There is no convenience, there is no customer support, there is no one around to help you when something goes wrong. Your account just freezes and there is no one to talk to. Assume you made a mistake and you would like your money back. There is no money back when using crypto. Cryptocurrency payments are irreversible. There are no refunds when using crypto. When you use banks and an amount is credited by mistake, you can fill out a false transaction application form or whatever you call it, and you will certainly get your money back. When you buy something using PayPal and you get scammed, you will fill out a form and PayPal will get your money back. And the same applies on eBay, Amazon, and the rest of the civilized world. But not in the crypto world. In the crypto world, there is nothing you can do about a wrong transaction but to beg the receiver to send you the money back. So the people are starting to realize all these issues, and those issues cause them nothing but inconvenience. And that is why Bitcoin is dropping. But the crypto is decentralized and so the governments won't hold the power, blah 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 blah. Yes, that is a nice utopia, like communism, an ideal world that cannot exist in real life. So let's proceed to the big lies that the young kids say. Because the majority of people holding Bitcoins are ages 15 to 35.
Bitcoin is the best form of money in the world. Bitcoin can never be bankrupt. Bitcoin can never owe anyone any money. Bitcoin can never scam you. Bitcoin can never hurt you.
Bullshit. That is all fiction. Do you really think that they will let a 20-year-old be a billionaire? They will rip him off, as they will rip off all of you. How will they do that? By dropping Bitcoin to $200 and letting it stay there for 20 years.
Your belief is that Bitcoin will replace fiat currencies in our lifetime?
Yeah.
So the real reason Bitcoin prices go down is simply because people understand that it cannot replace fiat money. And the reason Bitcoin boomed was exactly because people had the illusion that it would replace fiat money. But let's put that question to question 2. Why Bitcoin cannot replace fiat money? The answer is this. The quantity of money that exists in this world need to be adjustable. This is essential and very, very simple to understand. Think of the pandemic. If the banks didn't have the authority to print money, while half of the globe's population was temporarily unemployed, a fixed supply of money would result in a catastrophe. The reason that the Great Depression and the biggest crash of the economy happened back in 1929 was because there was a fixed supply of money tied up to gold. The government didn't want to print new money that would have no reflection on gold, and so they didn't. And that is why the economy collapsed. We need mechanisms to regulate the supply of money in response to economic circumstances. I will say it one more time for the brainless 25-year-olds who are obsessed over crypto. We, the people, unavoidably need mechanisms to regulate the supply of money in response to economic circumstances. That means Bitcoin will never replace fiat money. Do you get it? Bitcoin will never replace fiat money. Another cryptocurrency that might possibly be inflationary, perhaps. But Bitcoin will never replace fiat money. Now, there are some older guys around 40 who claim that they don't buy Bitcoin because they believe that it will or should replace fiat money. They buy it as an asset. In case you didn't understand what exactly people mean when they say I'm buying Bitcoin as an asset, they mean that they see it as an investment opportunity. They believe that it will play a big role in the future and its price will go up. But Bitcoin is not just an asset. It is a speculative transaction medium without materialistic substance and without a tangible usefulness. Even paper has a usage other than a trading medium. You can sweep your ass with it, even if its value drops to 0.01, it will still have a value of 1 cent because you can sweep your ass with it. After all, it's paper. But Bitcoin has no tangible usage, and thus its objective value is literally zero. It's not like gold, which can be used for jewelry or 1,000 other purposes. Bitcoin is not materialistic. It is not even there. Bitcoin can't be used anywhere unless there is a demand for it. Its price is solely based on the laws of demand and supply. If there is a high demand for Bitcoin, the price goes up. If no one wants it, it goes to zero. Gold can't go to zero because there are always things that you can do with gold, like wrap food like this idiot over here. Investing long term in a highly volatile asset is a bad idea.
Thankfully, the dangerous illusion of apolitical money, of crypto money, that is dead. And it should have been dead a long time ago. Should never have had that illusion.
So what's the problem with Bitcoin? Here is one of Bitcoin's most serious flaws. Its deflationary nature. People embrace the fact that Bitcoin is deflationary. But that translates to being an asset and not a trading medium, because money is subject to inflation. Its deflationary nature will eventually create a Bitcoin oligarchy, which goes against its main preconception, which is to take the power away from the central banks. Decentralization isn't the main objective? Well, you are all wrong in even your main objective. Why will Bitcoin eventually create Bitcoin oligarchs? There are 21 million Bitcoins in total. Consider Bitcoin to be the official currency of all countries, and consider Elon Musk acquiring 15 million Bitcoins in our capitalistic world. How will you stand against that? The only thing you can do is print more money, reducing the power of its coin, and thus Elon's power. What else can you do when all the money is in the hands of a few oligarchs? Revolution! Take the money from few and give it to the poor. Well, this is how limited intelligence you crypto people have. Crypto is not a safe route to financial independence as they want you to believe.
It's the biggest technology that's ever happened in the history of life.
No, Gary, it's not the biggest invention. It's a sophisticated pyramid scheme. Without new capital constantly coming in, the crypto market will collapse. You might say the same thing about the stock market, but you are mistaken. A company typically has physical assets. You can sell the land, the furniture, the computers. The stock price will at some point stop falling because those assets have an objective value. Crypto has no objective value. It could fall to absolute zero. What I said about Bitcoin is applicable to all crypto and NFTs. But let's talk about Web3.
From Web 2.0 to Web 3.0.
3 times 3 times 3.
There is no Web 3. I have been here since the very beginning, and I have witnessed the internet's evolution firsthand. The first time I went online was in the early 90s, and I assure you pages had no difference back then. When people refer to Web 3, they say that Web 1 was non-interactive. They say that the pages were static. Bullshit. The first version of HTML had forms, input boxes, and buttons exactly as it is now. Web 3 is nothing but propaganda, along with NFTs, all perfectly promoted to urge people to jump in this new advanced pyramid scheme.
In terms of cryptocurrencies generally, I can say almost with certainty that they will come to a bad ending.
So, could you become a millionaire right now from crypto? Of course you can. As long as there are idiots to believe in astrology and into technical analysis, there is nothing holding you back making money over those idiots. Bitcoin is not constantly going down, it's going up and down on its way to zero. And during those ups and downs, some people are making money. Could Bitcoin skyrocket again? Of course. Trends come and go. That is by definition what they do. A permanent style cannot be a trend. So is cryptocurrency a trend? I would say it's more like an option, an alternative asset portfolio. Future predictions, $7,000 till the end of 24.